Okay, we gotta just start. I don't have time to wait. So, hello, you guys. Welcome back to another fabulous episode of Pageants and Prosecco. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I am in a brand new setup, so do not mind any of this behind me, but we gotta talk. I hope you guys have your wine together. I am sipping on celery juice today, just for the sake of it's early. It's currently like not even 8 a.m. yet, but I want to talk on here because I am super late already talking about this topic. And I think that it's really important that we need to have these discussions here in the pageant world. So let's go ahead and have them. Okay, let's go ahead and have them. I got to get my life together for work here later, but right now, for those who are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. My name is B. Brooks or Brett Brooks, and I am. Oh, hold on 1 second. Oh no, my alarm is going off. Okay, we are back. Okay, the power of being live, right? So let me get back comfortable. So let's talk about it, okay? First off, we have this new information, new pending the broadcast. Okay, so we have this new information that just came out that Miss Universe organization is cutting ties with Indonesia, the Indonesia pageant, and the one that put on Miss Universe Malaysia too. Okay, let me pull up this information. Okay, so let's just start with the news information first. And of course, I can find it. Here it goes. Miss Universe cuts ties with Indonesia and Malaysia organizer over sexual abuse claims. Now, if you guys are familiar with the podcast, you know that I don't tolerate sexual abuse in the pageant industry, period. So let's see what was going on. 6 contestants filed a police complaint alleging they were subject to topless body checks. And this is just new information coming in as of August 13th, technically 14th, based off the time difference. The Miss Universe organization has severed ties with organizers of the Miss Universe Indonesia pageant and announced that the coming Miss Universe Malaysia is canceled. The move comes days after 6 Miss Universe Indonesia contestants filed a police report alleging that they were subjected to sexual harassment during the competition that was July 29th to August 3rd. In their complaint, the women alleged organizers of the pageant conducted topless body checks, telling the contestants the reason was to examine any scars, cellulite, or tattoos on their bodies. The examination took place in a room with more than 20 people, including men, according to the complaint. 5 were photographed topless, according to the lawyer. Both Miss Universe Indonesia and Miss Universe Malaysia franchises are owned by singer and entrepreneur Poppy Capella, who also serves as a national director. In light of what we learned this is Miss Universe on their Twitter, or I guess X, I don't know. In light of what we learned that took place at Miss Universe Indonesia, it has become clear that the franchise has not lived up to our brand standards, ethics, or expectations as outlined in our franchise handbook and code of conduct. And I'll read the whole statement here in a second. No measurements such as height, weight, or body dimensions are required to be taken to join a Miss Universe pageant worldwide. And Capella, who's a national director, after a controversial round of bidding last year, denied her involvement in the physical examination during the contest and says she is against any kind of violence and sexual harassment. And she posted on her social saying, I, as the national director and the owner of the Miss Universe Indonesia license, was not involved at all and have never known, ordered, requested, or allowed anyone who played a role and participated in the Miss Universe Indonesia 2023 process to commit violence or sexual harassment through body checking. The person in charge of the police said that the police are examining surveillance cameras from the scene, and investigators are going to interview the victims and provide psychological assistance. And of course, as you guys know, this isn't the first time the Miss Universe Indonesia has been hit with a controversy or scandal. Earlier this year, Yayasan Perturi Indonesia, which has been sending Indonesia representatives to Miss Universe for the last 30 years, claimed it was being sidelined despite years of collaborating with Miss Universe's previous owners. YPI took to their Instagram and said that it was shocked to learn that another company was granted the license, and it was disappointed by the lack of transparency in the bidding process. Different entities can own the right to host national pageants. Like, for example, there's a group in Dubai who owns the right to Miss Universe Bahrain and Miss Universe Pakistan and Miss Universe Egypt. In a statement, Miss Universe said arrangements will be made for Miss Universe Indonesia 2022 winner, who is Fabienne Groenveld. She's 23, and she beat out 29 other contestants. And Miss Universe Rabani Gabriel was there. And Miss Universe is taking place in El Salvador on November 18th with 80 contestants expected to take part. So overall, this sucks for Miss Universe Malaysia and the girls who were going to compete in that pageant, because it's like, what do you do now? And I don't know when that pageant was scheduled to begin. Let me see if I can Google it real fast. But it sucks that they don't even have a pageant to even do this year because of the scandal. Like, imagine just me ready for this and then all of a sudden just nothing. And Miss Universe just cancels the pageant. Let me see if I can find out if they had a date set or not. But totally crazy, right? So a lot of people on social media were talking about how I don't want to pronounce the name wrong. You guys, please forgive me. YPI always took over the Indonesia pageant, and they should have left it as is. I'm not seeing a date for when Miss Universe Malaysia is supposed to be, but pretty much the same story on every website. Miss Universe Indonesia was held on August 3rd. Yeah, so a lot of people kind of want YPI, who was in charge of this pageant for 30 years, to kind of like take it back. That's what a lot of people are calling for on Facebook. Okay, so also to move along right with that too. Oh, I'll read what they posted on Instagram real fast. What Miss Universe posted on Instagram. So they said, this is the official Miss Universe post on August 12th addressing the scandal. Quote, the Miss Universe organization has decided to terminate the relationship with its current franchisee in Indonesia, PT Capella Swastika Kara, and its national director, Papi Capella. In light of what we have learned that took place at Miss Universe Indonesia, it has become clear that this franchise has not lived up to our brand standards, ethics, expectations as outlined in our franchise handbook, and code of conduct. Providing a safe space for women is the Miss Universe organization's utmost priority, and the events at this particular pageant are diametrically opposed to everything we stand for as an organization. PT Capella Swastika Kara and its principals will not be moving forward with the Miss Universe Malaysia 2023 and will not be given any additional contracts within our organization. We will be canceling Miss Universe Malaysia 2023 and will make arrangements for the Indonesia 2023 title holder to compete in this year's Miss Universe pageant. We are evaluating our current franchise agreement as well as our policies and procedures to prevent this type of conduct from occurring and to ensure that future events worldwide remain within the brand standards that we have set out for all of our international franchises. We also want to make it extremely clear that there will be no measurements such as height, weight, or body dimensions required to join a Miss Universe pageant worldwide. And they finish by saying, to the women who came forward from the Indonesia pageant, we are sorry that this was your experience with our organization. We appreciate your bravery in speaking out, and we pledge to do better in the future. Which is a legitimate statement. That's a great statement. That already has 212,000 views on Twitter. So pretty sad circumstances happening over there in Indonesia. But like people are calling for, maybe the people who were in charge for 30 years can take it back. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else to mention. But body checks, topless body checks for scars and tattoos, it seems a little suspect, doesn't it? Seem quite suspect. Let me sip my celery juice. Not gonna lie, if you guys haven't done a celery juice thing, it's not the easiest to sip on. I've been drinking on this for probably about a little bit over an hour. And I added honey to make it better. But yeah, so they were looking for scars, cellulite with people present and men, and they were photographs. Like, this is what I'm talking about, like when it comes to being a pageant contestant, because you're subjected to these things and you don't know, you know what I'm saying? You don't know if it's right, if it's wrong, and you're just trying to win. So you're kind of in a vulnerable position. Super vulnerable position. Okay. Perfect. So that one is done. Let's talk about Miss USA. Let's come back home real fast. So Crystal Stewart is no longer Miss USA president after a year full of controversy that included allegations of pageant rigging. And I hate that this is the only thing that we're talking about was the rigging allegations, because we also need to talk about how there was a handful of women who came forward about sexual harassment allegations at the hands of Crystal Stewart's husband at the time. And people were mentioning things that happened between him and them. Sorry, my alarm to get ready for work is going off. So the only thing that's publicly being mentioned right now is the rigging. But there were some women who said they felt uncomfortable around him. And that also should be considered, but it's not right now. So it says, after a chaotic year full of headlines and controversy, big changes are coming to Miss USA. The Miss Universe organization announced that Crystal Stewart will no longer serve as president of Miss USA and Miss Teen USA, something that she's been doing since November 2020, as you know. The Miss Universe organization said information on the new national director for Miss USA and more information on this year's pageant will be released shortly. And then someone for Crystal Stewart's camp did not return the request for comment. Stewart was suspended from her position in October after more than a dozen Miss USA 2022 contestants claimed that she and her company Miss Brand rigged the pageant in favor of Miss Texas, which is Ronnie Gabriel, who eventually went home to win Miss Universe in January. In a statement on Tuesday, and I'll read this whole statement to you guys as well, but the Miss Universe organization said, after a thorough and extensive investigation, they found the rigging allegations were false. And I'll read the whole thing, but let me just read the whole thing right now. So this was in a press release that was sent out earlier this month and posted on the Miss Universe website. Also announcing the new owners. Actually, let me just keep going with the crystal thing and then I'll switch over to new owners. Stewart and the Miss Universe organization became consumed in controversy after Gabriel was crowned Miss USA 2022 on October 3rd. Insiders spoke to many of the competing contestants who pointed to multiple conflicts of interest between Gabriel and Miss USA's national sponsor, including Miss Academy, the pageant school owned by Stewart. Miss Missouri, Michaela McGee, said a lot of the girls felt like the organization's plan, it was the organization's plan from the beginning for Rabani to win, no matter who else was going to compete. And the contestants also told Insider, whom gets information from, no mental health support was present during the competition, which occurred just months after Miss USA 2019, Chesley unalived herself. As the rigging allegations became headline news, it was also revealed that Stewart's husband, Max, has stepped down as VP of Miss USA after multiple contestants from 2021 pageant said he had sexually harassed them during the competition. And the Miss USA, in a statement in October sent to Insider, a spokesperson from Miss Universe said the organization was made aware of the allegations against Max in December 2021 and immediately requested a review. And then it said, quotes, the Miss USA franchise, Miss Brand, removed the employee from its organization in January 2022, and new protocols and processes were established and put in place. And as we know, Stewart was the first Black woman to run Miss USA as the president. And she was also a former Miss USA when she won in 2008, representing Texas. And she was the former director of the Miss Houston pageant. And I actually been to the Miss Texas pageant and met Crystal down there, and she was just so nice. So now what, right? Now what? So as we do know now, there is a multi-deal with the Roku channel and Telemundo for Miss Universe. And the Miss USA organization has since given the title of pageant president to Layla Rose, who is now the new Miss USA and Miss Teen USA franchise partner. Layla Rose was officially acquired the Miss USA and Miss Teen USA brand and license and will serve as the president and CEO. And she's replacing Crystal Stewart and the Miss brand. Rose currently serves as a member of the U.S. National Committee for UN Women, the UN organization dedicated to gender equality and the empowerment of women, and is known founder of Layla Rose Couture. And she also has the position of CEO on her own TV network, VIP Pageantry. And she says the goal as the head of this organization is to inspire women to always create new dreams, have the courage to explore it all, and continue to persevere to preserve integrity along the way. The definition of a pageant queen has evolved and revolutionized what it means to be a successful leader in the industry today. With grace and perseverance, today is a well-versed queen of her time who writes her story in an impactful world, a world that exists because of the history of our fellow leaders who paved the way for her. Change is inevitable for growth, for success, and most definitely for development, not only for oneself, but for all who encompass the crown. She said she's excited about the upcoming pageants and hope to garner global attention. Now, the 72nd Miss USA and Miss Teen USA pageant will be returning to Reno, Nevada. And I don't know if we got the official announcement, but it is supposed to be at the Grand Sierra Resort, September 25th of this year. And of course, a person's going to go compete at Miss Universe in November in El Salvador. The producer, Carrie Zane, is also the producer again for this year's pageant. She did a good job last year, so we'll see how she does again this year. She says she's looking forward to working alongside Layla to bring an entirely new kind of entertainment show to the world of pageants. Perfect. So that's there. So Miss USA and Miss Teen USA has a brand new owner, Layla Rose, from VIP Pageantry, which is where I think that we all kind of recognize her from. Gorgeous woman. VIP Pageantry has been involved with the pageant that I'm a part of as a director. So I've seen their work firsthand and experience a VIP Pageantry experience. So I think it's going to be really good. I think ultimately it's going to be really good. And they also put on a fashion show too during New York Fashion Week. So that's also kind of interesting too. I'm surprised she can do this all. Work for the UN and do VIP pageantry, and now the owner of Miss Universe. That's a lot. So anyway, next order of business. Miss Universe signs a multi-year deal with the Roku channel and Telemundo. They announced a multi-year distribution deal with the Roku channel and Telemundo, covering the U.S. streaming and broadcast markets in both English and Spanish. The 72nd annual finale will occur on November 18th, 2023 in El Salvador. It's going to be produced by an LA-based company, Event TV, as well as Paula Shugart and Anne, Anne from Miss Universe. We are excited to be moving forward with the Roku channel and Telemundo for the next few years, said Amy Emmerich, the Miss Universe organization CEO. She says, quote, "To me, this is a legacy brand that people should be watching for what we're going to do next, not what we've done in the past. The women we work with and the fans who make up our core audience are exceptionally tuned in crowd. We appreciate seeing them show up for us every single year, and our broadcast partners have seen that firsthand." In January 2023, the 71st Miss Universe finale was streamed for the first time on Roku, becoming the most streamed live program on the Roku channel on its broadcast date, reaching millions of streamers with the live and on-demand replay of the competition during its broadcast weekend. And as we know, that part is true because we were always trying to look for the pageant. We were all looking for it, so I'm not surprised that they made that kind of history, but it's kind of a weird stats, like when you look at that broken down. I mean, this is very specific. The Roku channel's first ever live event. And what did it say? The most streamed live program on the Roku channel. Cool. And the person who in charge of the head of content for Roku said, "It's a pleasure to build on our partnership with Miss Universe, and we look forward to exclusively bringing the live experience to the Roku channel once again." The success of last year's broadcast, which also marked the Roku channel's first ever live event, not only demonstrate the viewer appetite for live programming, but also the successes that live programming can find in a free streaming environment. And for Telemundo, the finale ranked as a #1 entertainment program in its Saturday night slot across broadcast and cable for adults 18 to 49 years old, with an average of 875,000 viewers in the 18 to 49 demo and 2.4 million total viewers on linear. Locally, it was the number one ranked Spanish language TV program in its time slot in the LA, New York, Miami, Dallas, and Chicago markets. This year, women from 90 countries covering 6 continents will compete for the Miss Universe title and the opportunity to bring their social impact cause to a global audience. The organization has storied history of launching women's careers, entertainment, politics, fashion, advocacy, and more. So, and then Paula said that she's thrilled to work with Roku. She knows Sergio's work for many years, and they're excited to finally be partnering on a show that would demonstrate their collective passion for women's empowerment. So that's kind of the news that's happening right now. A lot is going on in the pageant world, specifically with the Miss Universe organization. We don't have an Indonesia director. We don't have a Malaysia director. We have a new Miss USA director. We have allegations of sexual harassment. And it's a hot mess. And then finally, and some lighter news, Miss Netherlands crowned its first openly trans woman, Ricky Valerie Coley. She was just named Miss Netherlands 2023, becoming the first transgender to take the title. She won the pageant in early July, and she's going to represent her Dutch homeland at Miss Universe. She won in this gorgeous spaghetti strap red satin dress. And she wants to be a voice and role model for young women and queer people. As someone who didn't feel supported after coming out as a transgender at a young age, she says she wants to leave those stories of suffering in the past. And as we know, she won't be the first one to go for Miss Universe because Angela of Spain went in 2018, but she's the first one to represent for the Netherlands. And then we also have someone competing for Miss Puerto Rico, Daniela Orio Gonzalez. I'm not sure where that pageant is. I gotta look that up. It probably already passed. So we also have another person who is taking on the career space in the pageant world too. So it's gonna be a really good show ultimately come November. But first we gotta see what Miss USA is looking like next month in September. And then we're gonna kind of go from there. So I just have a couple of questions. You guys can comment down below. What do you guys think about all these allegations that are coming out? And how do you think we could better address sexual harassment in this space in our field? Because it's hard to kind of obviously you have a lot of women in vulnerable states, some of them in their swimsuits, and you have women who are competing to win a title, and that's a hard, what I'm trying to say, it's hard to make sure everybody feels safe and protected. And we need to ensure that everyone does feel safe and protected in these spaces because this is our only industry. And I'm sure it's not unique for us too. Cheerleaders are going through it as well. I'm sure there's dancers who are going through it too. A lot of these predominantly women entities are seeing these sexual harassment claims come up. And it's at the behest, honestly, of some men. So I don't know what the solution is. I don't have those answers right now today, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think can be done to help prevent sexual harassment here in the pageant industry and to prevent things like topless body checks, photographs, allegations of harassment from happening? And it truly sucks. It truly sucks, especially as someone who's been in this industry for over a decade myself. Seeing these allegations, not the first time. Go back into the episodes, you'll see I did something about I believe it was a sponsor who had a dinner for a pageant, a national organization, and they had a dinner on a boat, and it was his boat. And so he was accused of making some girls feel uncomfortable at the time. And I believe it was England and Cuba contestants who came forward to talk about that. But as we know, when these women come forward, then it looks like they're salty pageant patties who didn't win their pageant. So it makes it feel like they were sore losers. And I hate that notion. I hate that narrative too, because it's like, no, if I bring this up earlier, then I don't have a chance to win. But at the same time, it's like, how can you balance both? But we shouldn't have to balance both at all, because this is our industry. Like, we need to take control over it. So comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Watch this on YouTube. Put your critique and your opinion in the comment section, and let me know what you guys think. I am still sipping on my celery juice. I encourage you guys to do it. I'm trying to do it for a full week, but it's hard. As you can see, I'm not making much progress, but I'm trying. I am trying. I have more news for you guys coming up in the next episode of Pageant and Prosecco. Thank you, of course, for tuning into this episode. I appreciate you so much, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.